It's October 2019, and Skye is hiking through the Landfine estate in Scotland to meet some friends for a camping trip. It's a pretty remote location, surrounded by forests and at least 25 miles away from the closest city of Glasgow. To reach the campsite, it should be a simple walk through the woods, but soon after he arrives, Skye notices something that puts him on edge.
I don't want to sound like a big pansy. This is really freaking me out. Somebody is actually following me, and it's freaky, man. Like,
Skye has no idea who this person is or why they're following him. Since he's in such a remote location and it will be dark soon, Skye didn't expect to see any other people on his hike. He picks up the pace, hoping the man will eventually lose interest and back off. But Skye's mysterious stalker isn't giving up so easily.
this can't be on the joke.
Skye gets increasingly freaked out and tries to hide, heading for a thicker patch of woods.
See how good he is in the woods.
For a second, Skye thinks he's finally managed to get rid of the man who's been following him, but when Skye realizes that he's heading straight toward the campsite where his friends are waiting,
he's heading up to where Colin and Sam are. Shaking, man. Yeah, I'm gonna follow him. See where he goes. I'm gonna try and phone Colin.
Following the stranger is risky. Who knows what he might be planning to do? But Skye is concerned for the safety of his friends and knows he can't risk something happening to them. He keeps his distance, following quietly behind.
This is the scariest thing I've ever done. I actually found a psycho. Colin's not answering his bloody phone. And they're only about 400 metres up this pathway, so I can't just leave him.
After tailing him for a few minutes, Skye suddenly loses sight of the stranger. He looks around, panic rising in his chest, but there's no sign of him.
I lost track of him. But I can see, I don't know if you can see. That's the fire, that's Colin. But where the did he go? Honestly.
His friends are just 100 meters away, and Skye has no idea where the guy has gone. Skye still doesn't know who the guy is or what he's planning to do, but since he followed Skye all the way here, whatever he's up to, it can't be good. Afraid that the stranger will get to the campsite before him, Skye tries calling his friend Colin to warn him. This is where the nightmare truly begins.
Oh, Jesus! Hell! Oh, hell! Jesus!
Covered in gasoline, Skye sprints as fast as he can to the closest water source, but the toxic chemical drips from his head into his eyes and mouth, causing sharp pain and discomfort. Unfortunately, this seems to slow him down.
Oh, it stinks. Oh, hell. Get the fuck away from me! Get the fuck away from me!
What happened to Skye is truly every wild camper's worst nightmare.
I'm not sure why this area here is gated up, but it still looks beautiful.
Urban exploration is a great way to learn about a local area, especially when you stay off the beaten path. However, it can also be highly dangerous, as YouTuber Frank discovered in February of 2023.
What is up, guys? Thank you for watching Franco TV. So I am in another cemetery that I found. However, this video will be interlinked. with one of my other videos that I did. I remember seeing a static figure standing very still, and I wasn't able to investigate that area due to the fact that I sprained my ankle. Here's where you confess your sins. I would have to have the priest stay overtime for me to finish up my list.
Frank is looking forward to delving into the mysteries of the cemetery and uncovering as many creepy details as he can, and there's one specific place he's excited to check out.
I want to show you guys the hallway. It's actually right behind me and they go deep into this place. Let's check it out. Now, I actually haven't been down here just yet, so I don't know if there's people here. I haven't seen anybody. Just got a noise over there.
Right off the bat, Frank hears loud noises that echo through the grave hallways. However, since it's still light outside and the cemetery is still open to the public, he assumes it's just other visitors. Frank hasn't seen anyone else so far, but in a huge cemetery in the middle of a dangerous South American city, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Ignoring the noises, Frank carries on.
What is this? I wonder where this goes to. Oh my god. It's kind of wiggly. Look how dark it is down there. There's another Jesus Christ statue.
With so many graves surrounding him in the dark hallways, Frank already feels on edge, but then he hears something that makes his breath run short.
I'm getting knocking. It's coming from over here.
Strangely, Frank doesn't see any other people, despite persistent knocking sounds coming from one of the dark hallways.
Hello? ¿Quién es? Who's there?
To make matters even more unsettling, as soon as Frank tries calling out, the noises stop. Since it's so dark, Frank is struggling to see around the hallways, so he switches his camera to night vision.
I just switched over to my night vision because it is super dark in here. I wasn't expecting to use night vision during the daytime. This is where I was hearing those knocking sounds coming from. This is where I was hearing it from. Hello? Anyone? Hola? I want to try something. Hola?
Frank is horrified by what he just encountered in the grave hallways, so he soon heads back outside. By this point, Frank just wants to leave the cemetery and get somewhere safe, but the night has more terrors in store.
Look at the size of this area. I know it could be a little bit more stealthy going through here, but whatever.
Frank slowly makes his way through the graveyard, hoping that he won't run into any trouble. But Frank is a naturally curious person, so when he comes across a mysterious staircase and a broken gate, he just can't resist checking it out.
I just found something very disturbing. Someone broke into another tomb here, and this was closed. You won't believe what they did inside. Look at this. They broke in the tombs of the babies. This one, I don't know if it's still in there. I don't want to find out. Looks like it hasn't been touched, but I don't know. If you look right in there. That's the only bone from the body that was left in here. There is no more bones. They robbed the entire body to use for witchcraft.
Fearing that he stumbled upon the scene of a serious and horrible crime, Frank decides he needs to leave the cemetery as soon as possible so he can report what he's seen. However, as he's making his way towards the exit, he encounters the very last thing he wants to see.
Soy seguridad. ¿Quién es? ¿Quién es? Señor.
Running into a stranger in a dark cemetery is enough to scare even the most experienced urban explorers. But after not responding to any of Frank's attempts to speak with him, the man just slowly turns around and walks off.
I don't want to be back here. There's some guy here. This is probably the guy that was whistling, and probably the same person that might have broken into that tomb. He's still looking. He's leaving.
Initially, Frank is relieved to see the mysterious man leaving, but then he notices something. There's only one way out of the cemetery, and it's the same way the guy just went. To make things worse, Frank can hear noises coming from that direction, suggesting that he's still lurking around the area.
Alright, I'm now recording with the night vision, and someone just came out. I'm gonna see if I can walk a little bit closer. I was hearing something creepy with something like moaning from down there. And some guy just came out with long hair and then ran that way. I'm trying to see if I could kind of catch him on camera. There he is. Look. Yep, he's coming this way.
With the guy coming straight for him, Frank has no idea what to do except hold his ground.
Alright, he just walked into the other tombs there. Yeah, this guy's on something.
The man turns and walks in a different direction, seemingly unaware that Frank is standing in the dark just 20 feet away. Frank eventually makes it to the front gate, but that's when he sees this.
There. I think he's towards the front gate. This is getting dangerous. I don't know who that guy is. I don't even know where the hell the security is.
Fortunately, Frank manages to sneak past him and gets out of the cemetery safely, making sure to report everything to security on his way out.
Welcome back to another video.
The Flex Tapes is a wild camping and urban exploration channel. On a windy night in late February, Flex hikes up to an abandoned farmhouse, all on his own.
Strange one tonight, really weird one. I've decided to come out on my own. Quite a busy road behind us, but yeah, I've decided to come out on my own. And because I'm very, very close to, I'm not too far away from where I live. These kind of places are accessible. I've been to this place before. It's an old farmhouse, but I'm going to go back and I'm going to spend the night there on my own. So,
rumors have spread around the local area that the house is haunted, so Flex wants to find out if there really is anything paranormal going on. Although Flex is looking forward to exploring, he can't help feeling nervous about being alone in the middle of nowhere.
It is really in the middle of nowhere. There's the odd building there, straight across here. This field is where the house is. It is literally in the middle of nowhere. There it is.
Once he's inside the crumbling old house, it starts to dawn on him that this might not be such a good idea.
So there's a bed upstairs in one of the bedrooms, if I remember rightly, so we're going to go and have a look. Don't know if you can tell, but I'm not feeling good about this.
As Flex starts to look around the old farmhouse, he finds items scattered around that haven't been used in a long time. A lot of it looks relatively untouched, as if frozen in time. Given the age of some of the objects Flex discovers, it's clear that the house has been abandoned for much longer than he first thought.
If I can get a date on this before I even set up. And I'm not going to... Oh, 1985. Yeah, 1985. Wow.
It has been a long time since this house was inhabited, which makes Flex even more nervous about sleeping there. On the other hand, if no one has lived there since the mid-1980s, it's unlikely anyone will have a reason to enter the building. But on the other hand, it's impossible to know who or what could be lurking in the shadows after so long. Flex tries not to dwell on these thoughts and heads upstairs, where he finds an old bed and lays out his sleeping bag.
There's my sleeping bag. That's all set up. That is literally what I've got. This is literally my setup. It's completely unplanned, but yeah, I wanted to do it. So probably if I ever do this next time, or if I do it again or whatever, I'll probably bring more stuff. Oh man, this is mental. I haven't heard anything, so I think I'm far enough away from...
So far, Flex hasn't seen or heard anything, so he's optimistic about getting through the night in relative peace. It's getting late, so he climbs into the creaky old bed.
I don't really like taking my shoes off. I'm only doing that for the purpose of the sleeping bag. The house doesn't deserve it. Oh my god! Wow, that is an old metal bed. Right, so I'm going to get in here. I've got my night vision camera there, which I'm going to set up.
With a night vision camera on, just in case anything happens, Flex shuts his eyes and tries to get some sleep. But the peace and quiet is short-lived. After a while, Flex is drifting off when a sudden noise startles him awake. Flex quickly hides just as approaching footsteps reveal that someone is coming up the stairs. The man who appears in the hallway doesn't see Flex, and after looking around for a few minutes, Flex hears footsteps going back downstairs. Despite not hearing any more noises for several minutes, Flex is frozen in place, not daring to move in case the man is still somewhere in the house. But when he's sure that he's alone again, he acts quickly. Fortunately, there's no sign that the man is still around, so Flex thinks it's okay to switch his torch on and slowly leaves the house.
But I'm sure I saw someone's feet. I definitely heard something. Pretty sure I haven't left anything. quiet as I can. If they're still there, I've been seen, so I'm just gonna go for it. Right, let's go.
Flex makes it out of the house and back to his car safely. From now on, he'll probably be more careful about staying alone in a creepy abandoned house.
Well, another awesome free campsite.
Sarah from the Wandering Jeepsy YouTube channel is in Utah, camping in her converted Jeep. She finds a secluded spot to park, and after scouting the area to make sure it's safe, she sets up camp. Sarah says she enjoys living this kind of nomadic lifestyle because it makes her feel closer to nature, but she also admits that there are challenges, especially as a solo female traveler.
This is what us females have to go through being out here. You know, the first few years I feel like just was easy peasy, and it's like lately I've just had so much going on. I don't know if these are signs or what.
Sarah doesn't let these negative experiences stop her from camping alone, but she knows she has to be cautious. Before she settles in, she conducts a thorough search of the area to make sure it's safe.
I like to walk around when I get to my place that I'm setting up camp at and just scope the area out. Make sure there's no crazy people hiding in the bushes or behind the rocks. No signs of humans. No signs of wildlife. Just hear a bunch of crazy birds chirping.
Fortunately, Sarah trusts her instincts when she feels she might be in danger. Just when she's finished setting up camp, Sarah notices something that makes her heart skip a beat. Sarah watches, waiting and hoping that the red truck will leave, but it doesn't. And although Sarah can't see the driver, she thinks they're watching her. What feels like an eternity passes before the red truck finally drives off. As soon as the red truck is gone, Sarah grabs her camera and checks the footage. She's shocked by what she sees. The strange encounter puts Sarah on edge, and she worries that the masked man might come back. Could the man in the red truck have been watching her to check that she was alone? Thoughts of the man returning while she sleeps run through her mind, and she soon decides that it would be safer if she leaves.
Now I have to leave, and I have to go find me another campsite now. Because that... I'm not taking the chance of, you know, like, of him coming back at nighttime or something. Stared me down when he drove away. Absolutely ridiculous.
Sarah hates to leave such a peaceful place, but it's far better than waiting around for the masked man to come back.
All right, this is home for the night, so I'm gonna go ahead.
CJ Fison makes videos exploring some of America's scariest places. In October 2024, he drove his camper van into the Pine Barrens, one of the most haunted and dangerous forests in the United States.
Now, if you know anything about the Pine Barrens, it is rated one of the top 5 most haunted forests in all North America. Not to mention they have what they call pineys. Now, the pineys are people who live out there. Some are homeless, some have homes. And, you know, quite honestly, it's like an upgraded Slab City, but not as many people. If y'all saw that last Slab City video, I got some comments on that
Despite the potential danger, CJ is looking forward to spending a night in the infamous Pine Barrens. As a paranormal enthusiast and seasoned explorer, CJ is used to having strange, unsettling experiences. However, something is lurking in the Pine Barrens, something CJ says caused him to have the scariest night of his life.
Matters, but there is like a little bit more light when I put the awning out, so I'm going to show you all basically. Hey. All right. I officially feel like a legit van camper right now, and I'm honestly, I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it right now.
Although he's initially in high spirits, it's not long after CJ arrives that the Pine Barrens begins living up to its reputation as one of the scariest forests in the US.
Basically, we're getting down into like these cooler nights, right, of the summer. And I tell you what, like me even being here right now, I'm just stoked because it's coming into camping season, right? A lot of people, they go, that was weird.
At first he thinks he might just be hearing things, but the mysterious sounds are clearly picked up by the camera, leaving little doubt that there really is something out there. However, when CJ goes to check, he doesn't find anything.
I'm losing my mind right now, but I'm like 99% sure something's on the other side of the van, so we're gonna go take a quick look. Let me grab this off the tripod really quick. Listen, everybody, nobody's doing these solo van adventures. So just putting that out there. Man, this is wicked crazy at night. Wicked crazy at night.
With nothing in sight and no obvious explanation for what those noises were, CJ shrugs it off and decides to take his e-bike for a ride.
All right, everybody. I went ahead, put the camera in there, all that good stuff. I'm just gonna take like a quick spin around here. Just kind of see what's available. When I say what's available, basically, I'm meaning like what is around here. One of the things about the Pine Barrens that a lot of people always talk about is just how haunted this place is.
But then he realizes he's made a huge mistake.
Oh, you know what I didn't do? I'm an idiot. I'm an absolute idiot. I didn't even close the camper door. I just saw that out of the corner of my eye. Oh gosh, no. I didn't close the camper door. Oh, damn. I'm an idiot. I just realized that. I don't know why. It just dawned on me.
Hurrying back to the van, he hopes everything is as he left it. But when he gets back, he immediately notices that something has changed.
Hello? Those two logs are knocked over. The two logs are actually knocked over. I know for a fact that one was standing up, and I know that I'm 99% sure that one was standing up too.
He looks around the van but doesn't find anything. Concerned that whoever or whatever moved the tree stumps may have gone inside the van, he quickly checks inside, but once again, there's nothing to be found.
I can't explain the stumps outside. Genuinely cannot explain those. Grab a water from the fridge here, but that's a little weird. It's not concerning. I think concerning would be if the van was ransacked. I mean, I was within 200 feet of the van at all times, the whole time I was out there riding the bike, but for all I know, I could have spooked a deer, and a deer could have ran through the camp, hit those things, knocked them over. That I don't know. I mean, anything's possible.
CJ was away from the van for at least 10 minutes, and all the time that door was open for anyone to wander in. However, nothing inside the vehicle has been touched. CJ therefore tries to explain it away as being nothing more than a spooked animal, and then prepares to continue his exploration outside. But that's when he starts hearing noises again.
I just had one. This is not the mount. What the f was that? Hello?
He can't see anyone out there, but he has a creepy feeling that someone is messing with him.
What the f is that? What the? What is that? Let's try to zoom in on my camera. Okay, what the f? What the hell? Alright, I'm getting back in the van. Okay, somebody's out there, I think. I don't know. At least it seems like it.
CJ can't see anything through his van windows, so even though he knows it could be dangerous, he heads back outside to investigate.
Alright. I'd be lying if I said I'm not shitting my pants right now. Come on. That's somebody's flashlight. Hello?
CJ thinks there must be someone out there trying to mess with him, but the forest is so dark he can't see anyone. This is when CJ begins to feel real fear. In fact, some viewers have suggested that someone left the flashlight there to lure him away from his van. Whether or not that's true remains to be seen, but soon CJ starts to hear noises all around him, as if he's surrounded by people he can't see.
Hello? I'm not sure if y'all could hear that, but that was like a... I don't even know. It was a ding or something. Somebody's out here. Obviously. A damn flashlight doesn't fall clean out of the sky. Hello?
Even after calling out several times, no one answers him, but CJ is determined to find out who is lurking around and messing with him.
They're either down this way right here, or they're behind that big bush. I don't know which one. Ah! 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 Whoa! No. You motherfucker! I'll fucking beat your ass with this fucking flashlight if I find you.
After this terrifying experience, CJ rushes back to the safety of his van. He fears that someone must be lurking nearby, hiding in the shadows, but things keep getting stranger.
Whoa. Whoa, 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 no. I think one of my cameras just went off. Yeah. Look at this. Look. That camera right there just went off. It's not even on anymore. This thing is hot, like burning up hot. Yeah, look, camera too hot. That's crazy. It's like cold outside. I mean, I technically should even have a hoodie on.
CJ can't explain why his camera suddenly overheated, especially since it's a cool October night.
GoPro camera. Alright, this is weird. See, this is like, this makes me think like, okay, is this like an actual person out here with me? Like a deranged maniac in the woods? Or is this ghost-like?
According to CJ, paranormal activity is the only explanation that makes sense. He can't think of another way to explain the noises he keeps hearing, nor the fact that he hasn't been able to find anyone. But CJ barely has a moment to think before he's startled by yet another loud noise echoing through the forest in the dark.
No f***ing way. Hello? Listen, dude. Listen. If you're f***ing with me, just come out and say it. I don't know about you all, but I'm 9,000% sure that boom or bang came from that right there.
Again, CJ can't find anyone or any trace that there's a person out there. Soon after this, CJ decides to call it quits and heads inside the van to try and get some sleep. It's too late to leave and find somewhere else to camp, so CJ reasons that if he stays in the van and locks the doors and windows, he should be safe.
Before I go to bed, or try to attempt to go to bed, my heightened state of awareness is like right here right now, because the logical part of me says there is someone else out here, right? The other part of me says, well, you know, it's probably just coincidence, weird coincidence, right? Right now I'm going to chalk it up to a coincidence, that way I can go to bed and possibly sleep in peace tonight.
Although he finds it hard to sleep after everything that's happened, CJ eventually manages to drift off. However, it's not long before something jolts him awake.
Door's still locked. Unlocked. Locked. Oh my, I didn't even put the shades up. That was stupid. Alright, the e-bike's still there, that's good.
CJ is woken several times through the night, and as soon as the sun rises, CJ hurries to leave the Pine Barrens. To this day, he still has no idea who or what was out there, lurking in the shadows.